somehow I ended the video. Well, here's a new video. Wow. You know, I just noticed the lens. The lens. And I don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't notice because we're more focused on the things that are not as important. I feel like we get caught up in a lot of egotistical stuff. Ego being taking things for granted, like, oh, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and do that, or I'll have this day to do that, I'll have this time to do this. Sometimes we don't have the time. Sometimes we run out of days. Life could be over at any moment. At any moment. And sometimes we don't think about that, you know, because we're focused on the here and the now. But also, like, what we also need to focus on is being grateful, and that just helps us being grateful. It helps us to be more thankful, more careful, more patient. I'm not gonna lie, I made a mistake. I got into an accident. Why am I saying this? Because I'm not perfect, you know, like nobody is. No one's perfect. But I feel like it makes me more thankful for going through experiences and accepting that I also make mistakes. You know? I mean, it would have been wrong of me to just leave in that moment and just be like, you know what, whatever, I'll just figure it out. I communicated with the other person involved. I stayed. I cried because I have human emotions. I have a heart. I care for other beings just as much for myself. And sometimes you think that you're caring for somebody, you're being nice, but in reality, I had to check if it was still recording. In reality, you know, all you can do is just keep doing you, keep being genuine. And if somebody's not reciprocating, not having good intentions, then that's on them. That's on them. And sometimes I need to remember that too, because I end up having this need to just mirror back to them what they're showing me or what they're giving me, or you know what, altogether just not communicating with them at all, because it's just very draining in the long run. At least for me it was. It's very draining to just, you know, always have a good character, always have a good heart. It just felt very draining to me, the fact that I would show up, I'd do my best, I'd give it my all, but somehow I just, look at that. Somehow it just felt like it wasn't enough, right? But I didn't realize that it was more than enough. And I was already doing myself. doing me. I was committed to me succeeding and others succeeding, because it wasn't just me that was it wasn't just me that was contributing to my success. My community contributes to my success as well. So therefore, I also focus on helping others. But when others show up and all they want to do is just make you break down, or maybe that's just what it's feeling like, because when they communicate, it's giving aggressive, you know. It's the I don't know, inconsiderate communication. Sometimes they want you to read their minds, so then you end up wanting to have people read your mind, you know. Sometimes like the Robinsons, sometimes we gotta remember the thing that they said in the Robinsons. Let go of the past, let go of the bad, and keep moving forward. And focus on the good. Even a loss is a win. Even a loss is a win. Even when I lose, I am winning. Because I'm not really losing. I'm gaining the experience and the knowledge. That's the most important part. Look at I don't know if you can see that this is a huge wave. Like, in my hand. You see the line? You see that? And where I'm standing, it's giving vibration. Granted, it's like granted, the word granted is just like, it has so many definitions. Like taking something for granted, or I guess it's just the way you use it, right? The most important part is how you do things, how you're using it, in what context. I don't know. You know. I don't know, you know. I mean, when we think we know, we don't really know. Anything can happen at any moment. Everything's possible. Anything is possible. Somehow, I could be lost out of my mind right now, but then be driving a Lambo later or something. You know, I don't understand how things could work out, but they're gonna work out. Everything just tends to work out. Everything just tends to work out. That's the most important part. Focusing on the fact that it's gonna work out. It's always going to work out. Because it has. You wouldn't have gotten to the point where you're at now without everything that you've been through. You know? I don't know. I guess that's my favorite thing to say. Is, you know? But I don't know. Because we never know. You never know. You know? Hello. I love the birds. This bird in particular. Did you hear that? It's the ice cream truck. Oh. You know, in my mind I could be like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm just doing me. One day I'm gonna look back at my videos and I'm gonna be so thankful that I decided to continue doing what I wanted to do. Or I don't know what I needed to do, because younger me, my younger self always had a vision of this. Of me seeing myself grow, mature, experience. I don't know. Let me check if I'm still recording. I still am. I've always wanted to be like in a reality show where, like, you know, they record you in the moment and then they take you backstage to talk about that moment. And then you're backstage and you're like talking about it. Like a character, like some sort of like Jersey Shore, or like the Kardashians, or like, I don't know. That's just to give you examples. I'm not saying this is that, you know. But you never know. What if I have my own show like that? That'd be so funny. You know, something that also makes me think of that is like the Fear Factory. Fear Factory, where you face your fears and I don't know what the factory part is. In conclusion, my podcast definitely soon come out. My podcast should come out soon, actually. Thinking like maybe December or something. All I really gotta do is just put it into motion. Motion. That's my motion. Look at that. I haven't seen the dragonflies, or maybe I haven't been aware of them here at this lake, but I know they show up some point. You know, I said in conclusion, but I love talking, so that's why I said I'm gonna take what I know and put it into something I want to create. I started my own photography company, but I feel like I left it halfway because I was hungry. I was in the middle of moving. I was in the middle of figuring out how to make my income, how to make those bills. You know what I mean? Like, show up. Look at this. I want to go in there and grab it, but I don't know. I feel like it's so far. So many things in here too. Like, there's so many plastic here, plastic there, plastic over there, aluminum over there. I just want to go and grab it all, throw it in the trash, put it where it really belongs, right? Because Why would anyone think that it belongs in the water? Who knows? Just like we think that drinking alcohol is belonging in our system, or consuming anything that does not benefit us is something that belongs in our system, right? It's just the fact that we don't know, but we know. You know? I need to get my chapstick. If you could do anything when you get older, don't have it be the drinking, don't have it be the smoking, the staying out late. Have it be the fact that you're full of knowledge about the things that are gonna help you in the long run. You know? Let it be the fact that you're capable of doing things alone. Let it be the fact that your existence is what somebody is thankful for. Maybe it doesn't look like it, maybe it doesn't feel like it, but I'm sure that somebody's thankful to see you, to acknowledge your existence for simply just being there. It's difficult to wrap that around your head sometimes. Look at this. It just flew away. But we're just standing on top of the lamppost. The bird. Look at this other bird. I think it's a raven. Oh, it just switched places. That was the bird I was talking about a second ago. And the other bird flew away. Let that one take its place. It's like parking spots. You know, you back out, somebody goes into the same spot that you were just in. Like I said, somebody is probably thankful that you exist. That's more than likely. It's more than likely that they're thankful that you exist. It's more than likely that somebody's like, wow, I don't know this person, I don't talk to this person, but I'm thankful that they're there. You know, maybe you don't even do anything, maybe you don't even know who they are, maybe you don't even acknowledge them either, but maybe what they believe in is what they view others as. For example, maybe they believe that there's good in people, or maybe they view you as somebody who has good in them. Maybe they view you as somebody who makes them feel not alone because you're another human being. You are the same race, the human race, not whatever ethnicity or whatever race comes to mind as. You know, it's not just the fact that, oh, maybe we're the same skin color, right? It's the fact that you guys are both beings, human beings. You guys have the capability of humanity, you have the capability of somebody really good like Jesus Christ. I'm not religious, but Jesus Christ was a person you and I are persons, we're people. Look at the little car. Ah, the little car. I love little cars. Something about them. So cute. But anyway, if we were in the world where there were other beings among us, which we are, by the way. I mean, we have dogs, cats, birds, lizards, roaches. Somehow they're all beings. But, we're not all the same. Because compare a roach to a human being, one is an insect. One is a person. One is a vessel. I mean, granted, the roach probably could be also a vessel, but look at this tree. This could also be considered a being. A living being. Not a human being. Look at the squirrel. Look at the squirrel. You see the squirrel, no? It's between this tree right here. Right here. Did you see it? You see it? The squirrel. Also a being. But it's not a human being, right? I think that's what we gotta focus on more. The fact that we gotta treat each other as beings more than anything. Beings that are alive. Beings that provide for each other. That serve each other. That communicate with each other. Imagine if we all communicated with everybody, with everything, all the time. Imagine if you communicated with the trees, and if you communicated with the rocks, and the birds, and the dogs, and the cats. Would you ever have a moment of silence? What if you communicated with the water? What if you communicated with the fire, with the air, with the earth? I'm not saying you're not capable of it, but if with the simple communication with other human beings is too much, imagine if you were able to communicate with everything. Now, like I said, it's not like you're not able to. It's just that we're sold on the idea that we're not, right? That a lot of things are our fault, or a lot of things are things that we're gonna rely on chemicals for. Chemicals being pills, chemicals being like look, chemicals also being like beer, like some sort of alcohol, like drink. But I mean, I don't know. Just I feel like it depends on what kind. If you drink beer, you're more likely to have more consequences to it than if you were to drink tequila. Why? Because of the chemical compounds found in beer. It's not very nutritious. And it mixes in with the other chemical compounds inside of your mind to give you a distorted view on your reality. Since it's socially accepted or legally approved, it's like it's the reason why people are more prone to just drinking that, But even then without the beer, people are also prone to having their own emotions, own reactions. Most of the time, it's just what we choose. Look, that bird's following me around. I'm just kidding. It just looks like the same bird. Anyway. I mean, sometimes we don't even know what we don't know until we know it. Until we find out about it. Right? My favorite thing is a lot of things. But one of my favorite things is learning stuff. Stuff that I thought was self-explanatory. But it's only self-explanatory because somehow it was explained before. You know? Like this, like speed bump, 15 miles per hour. You could have thought that's self-explanatory, but for somebody who doesn't know, for somebody who doesn't have to worry about what that means, probably don't know what it means, right? Somebody who is like from another country, brand new here, they came from a country that didn't have what we have here, somebody else would explain that to them, or somehow they'll become aware of it in their own manner. Sometimes we don't need people to tell us, because we could also just read it on a book, read it in a book, or read it online, or associate one thing with another, like the fact that there's cars passing by. Maybe that's what they're there for. Yeah, so yes. So yes, as I would finish my presentations in school, well, then I went to school. So yeah. You know, you think you're gonna figure it out by a certain age, and you'll have everything worked out already. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you just need to go through it some more. Sometimes you just need to ask the universe about what it is that you're not seeing yet. You know? Have patience for yourself. Have patience for others. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but these are just some things that I've learned with experience. Don't judge others for anything, but appreciate everybody for everything. You know? Even if they're giving you a hard time. Even if you're not, like, I don't know. Even if you have nothing similar to them, nothing in common. Well, or what feels like you have nothing in common, but you actually do have things in common. Appreciate that. Appreciation and gratitude gets you way further than whatever spiral of paranoia you're probably going to, or you're probably getting yourself out of. You know, I don't know. Whatever is applicable to you. Look at this. I was over there thinking, oh yes, I know how to eat without making a huge mess. have a bunch of spots of the food that I was eating. I need to get myself a bib. Bibs. What if I made that an adult bib? It looks like it's gonna look like a regular shirt. It's gonna look like a tank top. But I don't know. I feel like I have really good ideas, but sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts as well, and I also do things that I shouldn't be doing, like dwelling on thoughts or ideas or could have been, should have been, would have been, you know. As long as I'm communicating about it, as long as I'm writing it down, you know, that's the best way to go through it. It's the way to get through it is going through it. The best way to get through it is going through it. It literally says it in its context, going through it. It's not going around it. It's not going over it. It's not going under it or beside it or hovering in it. Or ignoring it. A lot of things just speak for themselves. Like that ice cream truck. You can immediately just tell. You can immediately just tell that that's ice cream truck. I don't know if you're able to hear that, but it's nearby. So maybe everything's just gonna work out. All I gotta do is just focus. Focus on the good stuff. On the beautiful clouds, on the beautiful weather. It's always a beautiful weather. It doesn't have to be 100 degrees outside, 82 degrees, 62 degrees. It could be 50 something. And it's still a beautiful day. Because I choose to see it as a beautiful day. Just as much as I would have chosen to see it as a cloudy day. Or, you know, choosing to see it as a very cold day and not so good day, you know. The good lies within us. It's really funny because once you realize it, it makes it easier. Once you realize that just because you leave things alone doesn't mean that they're just gonna work out by themselves. If, I don't know, they could work out by themselves, they couldn't work out by themselves. Somehow, it's just gonna work out though. You know? And like I said, I'm not no perfect person. But I can only strive to walk with Christ. You know, Jesus Christ was a real person right now. Because, I mean, he was probably alive long ago, way before my time. But I see that as a reason to view that as a person, that example as a person that's choosing to do what is best, you know. It's a person that's choosing to follow what his father sent him out to do. It wasn't what he wanted to do, It's what he was sent out to do. If he's my best friend, why would I worship him? Why would I praise him? Like, I don't know. Like something that he's not. Because everything that he is also everything that I am. Like I said, he's my best friend. You know? He's my best friend. He's not just an idol. But he is iconic. He parted the seas. He multiplied the bread. He multiplied the fish. He turned the water into wine. Those are things that we're all capable of. Parting the seas. We've done that. We've walked on water too. Maybe it's not the same way as him. Not as it's described, right? But we are very much capable of what seems incapable. And we just have to realize that. The power lies within us. The power lies within me. All I gotta do is me. Focus on me. You see that? That's a siren confirmation. Confirming that we're on the right track. We're moving forward. We're going to keep moving forward. Everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out. We're gonna grow together as a community. As a community, we're gonna learn to communicate with each other and be there for one another and, you know, help the environment amongst ourselves. Because that's the best way to get things done. And if somebody doesn't want to help, then that's okay. They don't want to help. That's completely fine. Like I just killed the insect. Anyway, we got this. We got this. All we gotta do is be thankful for our neighbors. Be thankful for our family. Be thankful for our existence. For our existence. I love myself. And I love you. Bye. See you later. Alligator. In the wild, crocodile.